Welcome to the Bionicle Inspiration Series, that show that takes the Bionicle mocks of the community and showcases them to inspire you to build something cool in the future, or helps motivate you out of an artist block. Of course, by the way, don't forget, you too can, of course, submit your own mocks or theme ideas to the show, but more on how to do that at the end of the episode. So let's get started. Like Motoro before us, let's dive on deep, put on our masks of life, do what we were destined to do. Let's begin. So the first mock that we have today is called Katsumoto. I should say what this episode's about, shouldn't I? This episode is on samurai and all sorts of very cool feudal Japan inspired mocks by three very talented builders today. Alright, let's actually begin with the mock that's called Katsumoto and is by Cameron. Now this mock is badass. This mock is awesome. It's actually a surprisingly old mock too. He only recently posted it, but in the description he says he's built this mock back in 2010, ages ago. And he said that it's come out for a few conventions, but otherwise it's basically the same as it was when he first built it. And that is really cool in my opinion. I think that's awesome. And I think it brings up a really good point in my opinion. It's this thing of, hey, some people might make up excuses and say, hey, I'd love to build a mock, but, I just don't have these parts, or I'm just not talented enough, I don't have the skill, or blah, 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 say whatever. But, you look at this mock and some people might sort of look at older mocks and be like, it's alright, but it's kind of dated, there's nothing that amazing about it, uses too many old parts, old techniques, like, who wants to see that? Try some new stuff, or do whatever, maybe people want to see that, but you look at this mock, and it was built in 2010, but man, it still holds up today. There's so many techniques and things like that going on that you would see in any mock today. With all sorts of new techniques and styles of building, all that jazz. Yeah, you see a lot of that going on in this mock, and I think that's just super interesting, And if you ask me that of like, hey, if I built a mock using primarily parts from this era, or doing whatever, maybe I would say like, well, might be best to branch out and use some newer parts and stuff like that. But this has proven me wrong. The idea that I thought was concrete and true turns out, not so true at all, And I think that's a valuable lesson in some fashion. Challenge the paradigms and ideas that you have that, you believe are a true constant. Like, I don't have enough time to build that, or I don't have any money, so I can't do this, or I don't have enough space or skill or talent. I'm not creative enough. Why not challenge that stuff? What if you were? What if you just started building something and you fully believed in your heart of hearts, even though your head might be telling you otherwise, you know what, I can build this. You know what, I will have the time to build this. You know what, I am creative. See what comes up. Why not challenge things like that? I think this is an inspiring mock in more ways than just how it's built. So thank you for that message, Cameron. Anyway, let's actually talk about the mock itself. So it uses a pirate flag on the back. How cool is that? A literal pirate flag too. It's not like one of those blank sails that you could kind of translate to like a wing or some other part of a mock. It's actually a legitimate pirate flag with a skull and stuff on it. And that's really cool. It's very very samurai-like. Ironically, a lot of the other mocks in this episode have flags on the back too, but we'll get to that later. But I think that's cool. It sort of says a lot about the character of this mock, and it's a really nice, fun detail. Just a flag on the back. That's awesome. That's really cool. What a nice addition. Another thing that's really cool is Cameron's repeated a whole bunch of elements on here, and it's worked quite well on the mock. You take a look at these lower arms here. It's just repeating a bunch of those sort of disc pieces there, and ironically, it sort of blends a lot with some of the other textures of the mock. These sort of wheels there that make up primarily all of the torso. It's very similar shape-wise to that, repeating a lot of those lines there. Those lines are sort of in a similar way on the sort of waistcoat design there that he's got, using those tread parts. They are, I don't know, yes, they are different textures and different pieces and stuff, but these repeating lines that you see in both of those, yeah, it's just a nice sort of sense of flow and unity between those. And I think that's really, really awesome and really quite cool. So awesome to see how all the individual parts of this mock sort of flow very nicely together, and cohesively it all just works. I think that's very cool. Also, it's pretty easy on the old wallet there, because hey, you get to just use a bunch of treads, use a bunch of the same part. I'm sure you've bought one set that comes with like 40 of one particular part. You just use those pieces and you don't have to bricklink anything, and you get a really good result. So why not give it a go? Also really cool how the face on this mock is just that nice pop of red. Obviously it ties in a little bit with his weapon and his flag there, but it's cool that the mock is primarily just purely black. and then that little pop there on the mask, which could very well be a mask, much like a samurai, or is actually just his face, and he's a kind of cool-looking demon guy. Looks really cool. Just a nice way to just have a little nice accent color there, not have to worry too much about colors. Really nice, really cool. And final thing about this mock before we move on to the next one, look how simple those legs are. It's literally just one of the old, Bionicle leg pieces with a little system plate shoved on the front there, and then one of those Ben 10 foot pieces. That's it. Maybe there's something on the back there, I can't quite tell, but super simple. Super simple. If I looked at the actual photo that shows what's on the back of the legs, I would be able to realize. Yes, there is a couple other pieces there on the back. Man, I do that sometimes when I'm, here's a little behind the scenes for you. When I'm talking about the mock, I'll just have one picture open and talk about it. And then when I'm doing editing later, I'll put a bunch of the other photos up. I'm like, I should have looked at those because there's more I could have talked about, or I missed that. Or there's one episode where I said they've done this. And then I looked at the back photo after editing and I was like, what I said was wrong. I was like, okay, just don't include the back photo. No one has to know. So there you go. There's a revealing the curtain. Yeah, but pulling back the curtain, and you see the lies of the Jedi. Now Order 66 begins. My bad. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, very simple leg design there. Don't need to overcomplicate it. It still works. Still looks great. Awesome. Nice work, Cameron. Let's move on to the next mock, which is by Red Ronin. No, Red Ronin is the mock's name. The guy who made it, his name is Spark Art! Exclamation mark! Capital letters! Spark Art! That's his name. Don't wear it out. Spark Art. So what I love so much about this mock is, and I'm sure you've already noticed, he uses one of the dang Star Wars heads. Everyone's always like, oh man, how do you use these Star Wars heads? These are difficult. He's just straight up used that Praetorian Guard head there, and it works so well on a samurai mock. How cool is that? And if we take a little bit of a closer look here, how much cooler is it that, hey, look at the arms, and look at the legs. Combining arms and legs, lam. Look at the arms and the legs there. It pretty much looks like a straight transition from the set with, maybe a few little minor additions there. But pretty much, it's a little bit harder to tell, but pretty much this mock very much just looks like he took the set, added a really sick dress waistcoat design there, used one of those cool balloon parts that we actually saw in an older episode, not too old now, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, to create that sort of awesome chest sort of armor plate there. And you've got a and added the flag, of course, there's the other flag I was talking about. You've got a really cool looking samurai design, and underneath is probably literally a set. And it looks fantastic. And if we actually take a look at another mock that Spark Art has done, he's essentially done the exact same thing, but with a stormtrooper. How cool is that? And he's even added sort of little side bits there that again resemble the pauldrons on a stormtrooper. How cool is that? Why not take an already existing set and then add some armor on the top of it and make it a samurai? What a great concept. What an awesome concept. So Spark Art, you a genius, man. And in some of these photos, you can kind of see how he's built that sort of waistcoat dress design thing there. You can see a sort of series of these sort of clip pieces from system there. And yeah, if you kind of study it enough, you can sort of see aspects of how he's done it. And I'm sure he's just attached it through the lightsaber rod connection there on the, that joins up with the CCBS armor there. So quite simple, but really effective and really awesome. And look, I might be totally wrong. There might be a whole custom torso under that. But hey, even if it isn't, what a great concept. Why not give that a go? So, Spark Art, nice work. Sorry, Spark Art, nice work. It's capital letters. I need to yell. Speaking of yelling, we'll pretend that was a good transition. This is a mock by Construction Diva, otherwise known as Alex Mertens, and is called Skull Shogun. And this was actually an entry to the 2017 Bio Cup, which I have no idea, and I don't know when I'm going to post this episode, because this is backlog episodes. When you're seeing this, I recorded this like a month ago. It might be on now, so if it is, there'll probably be a link in the description, or I'll actually go and, because when it comes out, I'll post a whole, here were the top finalists of the show. We'll talk about them in the Bionicle Inspiration series. So stay tuned for that and join the Bio Cup, because great contest, phenomenal contest, lots of talented people, great ideas, great way to get you doing a contest. So give that a look. Also give a look on BZ Power. They always have contests on. They probably have one on right now. Who knows? So take a look, see what you can do. Or start a contest of your own. Why not? Anyway, let's talk about the mock. So, Construction Diva has built this really awesome samurai guy. And what I love so much about it is, and this may have changed now, I'm sadly one of those people that does not have a Lego shop near my house, and it upsets me. The closest one is thousands of kilometers away in Melbourne. So it's a little difficult for me. But when I was last in America, the Pick-a-Brick wall had some beautiful parts. It always has some beautiful parts. If you don't know what I mean by a Pick-a-Brick wall, by the way, it does dawn on me that maybe not all of you you might be like me. You may never have even seen a Pick-a-Brick wall. I have seen a Pick-a-Brick wall, but you might not know what I'm talking about. So what a Pick-a-Brick wall is, there are Lego brand retail stores throughout the world in various locations. If you would like to see where some of them are, you can actually head to, I think just Google Lego shop, like locator or something like that. One time I looked it up, I can't remember what I did, but there is just a straight thing of like, here's all the locations of all our Lego shops. And there's quite a lot around the world now. I swear there's like at least 50, I think there was like 50 last time I checked. There's probably like 100 now, I don't know. Give it a Google, you'll see. Anyway, they have a wall of Lego. You get a cup, a big cup or a small cup, depending, and you fill it with Lego and you pay X amount of dollars for it. And sometimes you can dense pack those cups and get more Lego than what you're paying for. I've done it a lot when I've been in America. It's a good time. But at the time, these sand green pieces that Mr. Alex or Construction Diva has used for the armor on this awesome samurai skull Shogun here, those are 1x2 sand green system plates. And those were on Pick-a-Brick walls. So you could fill a whole cup up with those and do stuff with that. I myself did exactly that. It was a great day getting a whole cup of 1x2 sand green plates. What a fantastic time. Anyway, but what a fantastic idea to take those, build armor out of them, and then shove it on a basic CCBS frame. Now that said, much like the last mock, it might have a custom torso underneath it. It probably does, but I can't see that from this photo. So my bad, Alex. Let me know if that's how it was. But take a look at these arms here. They're pretty straight, just CCBS bones and other stuff. No, the upper leg looks custom. But for the most part, it's relatively simple. Nothing wrong with that. Looks great. But, I think there's a really cool thing in this, is that you could very easily just have a very simple, bare bone CCBS frame with some shells on it. But then you just add one little extra thing, like brick-built armor that you just got a bunch of parts from Pick-a-Brick, brought home and made beautiful looking armor like Alex has done here, and just tack that on. It makes the ordinary CCBS armor look extraordinary. Awesome. Great work, Alex. Great idea. Great execution. Awesome stuff. And even cooler how the Bionicle's G2 skull mask there, that looks perfect for a samurai. Who'd have thought? That's awesome. So yeah, combine your system, combine your Bionicle, go to the Pick-a-Brick wall, grab a bunch of parts, see what you can do with them, because my word, this is a fantastic mock. One of my favorites from Alex. He's a good guy. Be sure to check out some of the stuff that he's done. And on that, be sure to check the links in the description for the mocks you saw in today's episode, because, well, they're fantastic builders, and you should check out some of the stuff they've done. And I couldn't do these shows without them, so, give them some love. Speaking of giving love? That's not the transition I was looking for. These aren't the droids I was looking for either. But if you are interested in submitting your mocks for the Bionicle Inspiration series, or you have a theme idea, or just some suggestions, some feedback, criticism, anything, check the links in the description to my social media. There, you can find my Instagram, Flickr, Facebook, and the other one. Which one am I forgetting? Probably my YouTube. You're already on my YouTube. Who knows? But all of those places have personal messaging places. You can send me a message, and I will endeavor to reply. So just chuck me a link, chuck me some photos, either or. Give me some details, of course. And then I'll put it on my list, and eventually it'll come onto the Bionicle Inspiration series. That said, gotta bear in mind, like I said, I record backlogs. I got heaps of episodes in the bank right now, so you may not see it for a bit, or you may. Sometimes I might just, chuck in some newer ones or chuck in some older ones. It depends. But it will be on eventually. But you gotta give me time. But I got a whole web document of just links and stuff. So I always make sure to check it before I begin the episode. So submit away. Nothing wrong with it. Some people are like, I'm scared to submit, my stuff's not as good as others, and I look at you and I say, no, your stuff is just as good as everyone else's. Don't diminish your work. You do amazing stuff. I don't care what you say. Submit it anyway. I will happily talk about it and praise it because you have created something. You are a creative being. You are fulfilling your destiny as a human being. Good job, you. Be proud of yourself. So yeah, be proud of the work that you've done, guys. Enjoy building. Have a happy, fun time. Have a fantastic day. You know what? Have a great day. I hope you're sitting there right now with your juice box and your cup of milk. I don't know why you'd be drinking juice and milk at the same time. That seems far-fetched. But I hope you have a great day, and I mean that. Have a fantastic time. See you in the next episode. Happy building. Bye for now. Do people actually stay to the end of these episodes? I don't even know. Oh, I guess we'll find out.